I basically did the shit that they would make trans people do in like the 60s and 70s.
Where you socially transitioned. I remember you told me that. Yeah.
And so I went and got this Trader Joe's job as an untransitioned, no hormones trans girl. I don't recommend doing this, but I did it because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. The student just goes, so like, I don't get why this matters. And I was like, okay, so let me explain to you what trans people are, basically. And he was like, why do people hate them so much?
Okay.
And I was like, typically what it is, a man at a bar will hit on a girl he thinks is hot. Maybe they spent the night making out, and then he will find out she is trans. And he will
And then
feel
he'll fucking
betrayed.
kill her.
And he was like, okay, so like, yeah, I guess if I like made out with a girl and then I found out she was a trans guy, I would probably think she did deserve to die.
The patience you have, I would have gotten off the call, gone to that kid's house and kicked the shit out of him. I don't know how you could deal with that.
When he said that, I was like, today's the motherfucking day. I'm about to learn this boy. I was like, are you looking at the screen right now? And he was like, no, hold on. And he went and sat down and I was like, okay, brace yourself. And I turned on the camera. Again, 30 seconds of silence. What's happening? Just full on short circuited. And I was like, so I am a trans person.
Yeah, Nazis are pretty f***ing gay. It's the Gender podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
Trans people in science gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
To my trans agenda, I'm returning trans.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
I'm a lady named Chloe.
And I'm a lady named Laura.
And this is a part two, a follow-up, if you will, to a part one that came out last week.
Yes.
Where we talked about Laura's coming out story as a bi.
Yes.
And now we're gonna talk about my.
I can't reverse Uno you with that.
No,
because it's offensive.
it sure is.
It's kind of fucked up
Yep.
that you did this. Rude.
Well, what are you gonna do? You should like and subscribe.
Yes,
and
like, comment, subscribe.
and follow our Patreon, which we'll
Follow
tell
our
you about.
Patreon. It's Chloe's coming out story.
It's
as
Chloe's
a Chloe.
coming out story. I'm coming out as a Chloe. That is true. I did come out as a Chloe.
What is it like to be a Chloe?
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Yeah, it's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. for 'em.
Yeah, you know? I think it's going to pay off just fine.
It's been paying off great dividends,
Dividends.
which is a math term and also
A stock market term, which
totally.
I don't know that we're going to have a stock market after this. I don't know how that works.
oh god, I hope not.
Honestly, me too. I get sick of
Yeah.
hearing about it.
Yeah, people
People
talk
be
about
like,
it.
the stock market. And I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
That
it's
affects
up.
me not at all.
It's up. I'm so rich. Oh, it's down. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like, I'm glad I've never played that game.
Yeah,
People
right?
seem to have so much investment going on in their emotional well-being and also their children's future college funds and shit like that. It's like, whatever. Okay. Have fun betting your money on businesses or whatever it is. Like their horses in a race.
Yeah. Be more fun to go to the casino. They get at least like a fun little light show game if they lose money.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know where to start. I came out and then I kept coming out.
And you just keep coming
and it
out.
basically never ends. And now at least I don't have to like come out anymore. But also, as I said at the end of the last episode, basically every time a person meets me, like a new potential client, if they've only interacted with me via email, they look at me and it's like I'm coming out again. They just have this like moment that I can see it in their eyes where they're just like.
It's like the math meme lady. Yeah.
Processing data. How do I act? How do I treat this person? Is this a person? Is this person safe with my child?
Is it like, what's Grandma's Boy? The like Matrix character?
Yeah,
do they act like that guy?
Internally. And
When
then
he's like panicking.
yeah, and then in their brains, they're totally like malfunctioning robots, and then they'll just be like, "Hi, Like there's always like a break in the first word, which is usually like hi. They just can't figure out how to say it without like, I don't know,
Yeah.
being offensive. People are weird. When I was in high school, I like came out but didn't come out.
Yeah, where you tried to come out, but no one knew
Where I didn't even
a trans lesbian was.
I didn't even know I was coming out because I didn't know what a trans lesbian was. I just started telling people I was a lesbian, and they
Yeah.
were like, you're a boy. But yeah, like before that, like in sort of, I don't know, first grade, second grade, I didn't try to like come out to anybody, but that's when I first started like questioning. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm a boy. I feel like I'm a girl. I don't know if that's a real thing, if like I'm allowed to feel that way. I'm a Catholic. That feels like it takes precedent over anything else I could ever want to be. Like it's more important that I'm a Catholic and I follow the rules.
Yeah, and this was also the mid 90s, right? When you were having those thoughts.
Yes, yeah, it would have been like 1996.
Like, unless you were a trans kid that like won the lottery and had really understanding supportive parents, you couldn't talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, it was in the 90s when they were doing the first ever study on how to treat trans kids.
Yeah, that's when they started looking into puberty blockers for kids because they
Yes.
were already giving them to cis children that start puberty too soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were not giving blockers to adults, but they had started giving some adults like HRT
Yeah.
and shit before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It took me fucking forever to figure out I was trans. It took, watching a lot of TV shows that featured trans characters. And I started like searching up a lot of blogs. My algorithm was like a mix of like stuff about movies, stuff about magic cards, and stuff about trans people. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's so many just little moments of like where you have to like intentionally try to expand your mind to like figure out that you're even trans.
What moment did you have a moment before you came out where you thought to yourself, like, I might be trans before you accepted it? Like,
Yeah, a couple where I was like, could I be? And then the answer was always very quickly like, nah, like absolutely not.
why were you telling yourself no?
I think honestly it's because like I didn't know enough about it. Like I didn't even understand that there was a gender spectrum, like I didn't even understand
Yeah.
that things weren't binary. There were too many boxes that I checked for the like not trans according to my own internalized biases towards like what makes someone trans versus not trans. The biggest one was that like I liked women and I was like, I can't be trans. Like that's not a thing.
It's funny how I asked you about this on the We Used to Be Transphobic episode. I asked you, like, do you feel like you experienced your own version of comp-het
Right.
as a trans lesbian? Because, everyone's telling you, like, you're, like, gay before you come out, like, not, like, a lesbian way,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you're a gay man.
They're like,
and
you
then,
want to fuck men. And I'm like, I don't though.
Yeah, but then there's something off.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of feel like there's almost a weird version of comp-het, but not comp-het, like Comp-cis.
It's
like Comp-cis.
It's Comp-cis.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like I'm attracted to women, and like everyone thinks I'm a dude, so like it's it's interesting your like situation. Like I feel like being a trans lesbian.
Yeah.
It's a very similar thing that cis lesbians go through, but a little bit
Yes.
different. Yeah.
One of the things that like initially made me sort of think maybe was when my fourth girlfriend in a row broke up with me because they were a lesbian. Like I just kept dating closeted lesbians. And as soon as they were no longer closeted, they were no longer interested in me.
Yeah.
But while they were closeted, they were like, the closest I can get to what I want is another closeted lesbian who happens to
You
look
were like the
a lot
safest
like a man.
choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they all told me the same thing, which is like, you're just like the closest I can get to what I feel like I want while still being a man. And
I really believe gender is a spiritual thing.
100.
Like,
yeah.
and I'm sure there's like some way science could like prove that if we would actually study this, but the conservatives don't
like-
want us to.
But also, why should we? Like, why should science have to prove it? Like, at the end of the day, like,
it
the
shouldn't.
spectrum is so fucking weird and long and big and confusing, and like, there's so many intricacies to it that, like, as soon as we start trying to figure out which parts of which things we're supposed to measure, we should just fucking trust people.
I know, but I also,
You know,
I agree with that.
If someone's like, I think I need more of that hormone versus this one,
And I
and then
agree-
they take it and they're like, I feel better.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not just listen to the
But
person
I
who says, I
also-
feel better now?
And I get that, and I agree with that, but I also feel like there are spiritual things we can prove with science that we will see in the future, maybe not in our lifetime, but like who you are as a person is something that's internal and is you and your truth.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
I definitely agree with that.
You know?
I think if the right people were looking and asking the right questions, like if they let trans people be scientists, you know, I'm sure there are trans scientists out there, but I'm sure they weren't when they started being scientists.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's many people who like were trans and then became scientists. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I feel like that number is incredibly low.
We're gonna get so many comments from like trans scientists,
I
like I am
hope we
trans and a
do.
scientist.
I
Please
hope.
take over science.
Please.
If you're trans, please be a
If
scientist.
you're watching this video,
Be a doctor, be a scientist, like do all of the important things, please.
if there are trans scientists watching this video, please comment. Please email us. You're exactly
Yeah.
the person I want to talk to.
Literally, we would love to do an episode with
Yeah,
you.
I would love to be wrong about the trans scientist epidemic or lack of epidemic, you know?
Or just what you know, and based on who you are as a person, your take on it. Because I feel like you don't hear shit about that.
100%. Yeah, so like if the right people were looking, because they'd be asking the right questions and they'd be looking at the data and they wouldn't be like applying some weird fucking bias to it, which is what history has done with like cis men.
It's
cis
always been
straight
cis men,
and
and then it was cis het white women that are upholding the cis men's thing.
right, and because everyone after the cis het men just has to build off of whatever bullshit they made up, and like the shit that they did, like they had like, here's a circle of evidence, and they were like, and here is what I believe is true. Here's the whole circle. This much of it is how much I think is real. So I'm going to simply ignore all of this.
Yeah.
You know? And they did that in every field and everything and everywhere. We're going to take a quick break from the episode to tell you about a sponsor that we really stand by.
Tea Comfy Fits.
Tea Comfy Fits.
The best way to fight capitalism is to destroy the corporations that are screwing us all over.
I mean, I do agree with that.
And the way we do that is supporting smaller businesses, especially if they're owned by queer people.
Especially a queer-owned small business. And Tea Comfy Fits is indeed a queer-owned business with trans people in mind. Truly and genuinely, I wouldn't support telling you all this stuff if I didn't actually stand by it. Like, I love the pants.
Yeah, they look great too.
They look awesome. I got tucking jeans where they have like a tucking thing like built into it. They make my ass look amazing, and the fit is really nice, and they flare out, and they're like long enough. Which it's so hard to find pants that are long enough as a trans person who is tall.
Yeah, I'm a cis tall girl. I want them to make clothing for cis girls too, so I can get those because my pants are always capris. Look at these bitches. These are pants. They're capris.
Yeah, my pants are also always capris.
Yeah, but they look amazing. I got a boxer set and a bra. The bra has like binding technology, so it like flattens your chest for you. So if you're like a trans mask or a trans guy, or it's like if you're just a cis woman that doesn't give a shit if you got boobs or not, you could also buy them. But yeah, they're very comfortable, and the pants look amazing.
Yeah.
They make gender-affirming outfits.
I stand by them. And we have a promo code. If you type in the Gender Yap
dash BOGO. We'll put it up on the screen.
the Gender Yap dash BOGO. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a buy one, get one. Is it buy one, get one free?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yep.
So it's basically you can get two things for the price of one thing.
Yeah.
Or just assume, you're getting two things that are both half off, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Get yourself some trans-affirming, trans-made clothes from Tea Comfy Fits.
Also, if you're somebody who is still kind of closeted where you're living and it's not super safe, their packaging is very discreet as well.
Oh yeah, you'd never know what's in there.
Yeah. And now back to our show.
And now back to the show. It was one thing to like realize that I was trans, but also as soon as I realized I was trans, I felt like I had to come out
Yeah.
or I wouldn't actually do anything about it. Like there was many, many, many years of denial, and just like for a while it was like, well, even if I am trans, I feel like I'm one of the people who can tolerate pretending to be a man. Like I didn't have the level of dysphoria that a lot of trans girls have.
Yeah.
Like some girls talk about it and they're like, I was on the verge of cutting off my dick.
I met girls. We know girls that were like, I
Yeah.
was 10 years old and I tried to cut my genitals off.
There's varying extremes to this.
Yeah.
And I was never on that level.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that was like, well, even if I'm trans, I think that I could do more good being a cis ally who explains it to people and they would take me seriously and not just be like, well, you have mental disorders, rather than also like giving away my privilege and like being seen as a freak and potentially losing my job and potentially like there's so many risks to like actually coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, because like I could survive. I felt bad all the time. Like I was sad constantly, but it's not like to the extreme of like, I can't do it. Like I'm gonna
like kill myself
I'm gonna unalive
today.
tomorrow. Like I like had just like sort of low key unaliving ideation all the time, but it was like subtle. It was like quiet. And then like if too many things went wrong in one day, I'd be like, it's happening tonight. You know, like
That's how I was as a teenager, but for different reasons. And
Yeah.
a lot of it's related to my period. But I feel that where it's like kind of I want to die all the time, but it's not so bad that I'm going to do it. But if like it gets really bad, I'm going to do it right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. So it was just like that always, constant. And I was like, whatever, I can keep living like that. Like it's fine. And maybe I'll do some good in the world by like convincing people. But then like, you know, anytime I actually opened my mouth and tried to like explain being trans to cis people, trans people would come in and be like, shut the fuck up. You're not explaining it right. And I'd be like, you're probably right. Like you know, I'm doing my best, but I'm just going off of shit I've seen on the internet. Like I haven't experienced this.
You haven't lived through it. Yeah.
So not only am I not living my own truth, but I'm also not doing a good job at the thing that I'm not living my truth for.
Yeah.
You know? So like I might as well just actually do
Live
it
it.
and be
Yeah.
happy, because like no one's listening to me in the first place, and the people I'm advocating for don't want me to do it. So
To be fair, like I advocate for trans people online as well, but also I live with you and you're my best friend, so I listen to you probably more than anyone in my life. So I'm a lot of my content is me parroting things you've told me about your experience. I feel like that makes a big difference.
I'm sure that helps.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like
still
outside
didn't-
of that, a lived experience is the best way to educate someone. The only reason I know as much is because I am with you every day. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like every time some fuck shit happens, I'm either with you or you tell me about it. Like you know,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
But even like when I came out, I still had 0 trans friends. Like I didn't know any trans people. I had bumped into a bunch
hard.
on the internet, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go into this fucking blind. Like I have no one to guide me. I have no one to like share their experience. Like I just didn't know any trans people. And so I was like, well, here we go into the unknown.
Were you friends with any trans people before you?
No.
You weren't even friends with any trans?
That's what I just said. I didn't know a single trans person.
Like you had never had a friendship with a trans person prior? That's crazy.
Not that I knew of, you know, maybe some of them came out later on, but we had lost touch, you know, but like,
Damn.
yeah, I didn't know any trans people when I started transitioning.
That's crazy.
I guess by the time I like started hormones, I met some trans people.
Yeah.
But like when I came out, I knew 0 trans people.
That's hard. Damn.
Yeah. And I was like, it was 2020, you know, it was COVID, it was quarantine.
Well, the trans people found you
The
because you
trans
told me
people
that story.
Found me, yes. I started working at a Trader Joe's so that I could get healthcare, so that I could start hormones. While I was there, I was like trying to do makeup and like figuring out my shit. And I had a she/her pin, and I had my name tag said Chloe. There was a trans person who came into the store one day. I was like in the parking lot pushing the carts back or whatever. It was my hour for that. And she just like came up to me and was like, "Hey, are you trans?"
This is very much like that girl too.
She's like, "Are you trans?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, me too."
Even the way you imitate her so well. I know that's exactly how she
Yeah.
said it and exactly what she said.
Yeah. She's like, okay, me too.
You did it again. You did it perfect. Anyways.
And then I was like, okay, that's cool. And she was like, anyway, do you like want to be anyway,
That's
do you
how I
like
talked.
want to be friends? And I was like, sure. And so we exchanged numbers and we started like messaging. I was like asking about her experience, like taking hormones and shit. And she was like, have you started yet? I was like, nope. On the day that I started hormones, she like baked me a cake. It was really sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like a pretty nice, it was a cute little friendship.
She was thoughtful sometimes.
Yeah.
She was thoughtful
Yeah.
sometimes. I will give her that.
Yeah. And like during the whole time of me like coming out, starting to transition, all this stuff, I was dating someone who was a horrible garbage monster to me and was not supportive at all. Like, I don't remember if I specifically told this story on this show.
I want to beat the shit out of this person every time we talk about it. I hate
But-
this person.
The day that I finally decided to come out, at this point, like, this was a person I was dating. I had told them that I believed that I was trans. Me coming out as trans helped them eventually realize that they were non-binary and that they wanted to come out as non-binary and like go by they, them pronouns. But at the time, they were very sort of closed off, closed-minded, whatever. But also were like, I was like, I think I'm a trans woman. And they were like, okay, well, we can sort of figure that out together. As my sort of like exploration of being trans and whether or not I felt like it was something I wanted to actually do versus just like know about myself. One of my friends has a birthday on Halloween and he had like rented out this section on a rooftop of this place downtown. He was like doing a blowout for his 40th. And he rented out this spot and he invited like everybody he fucking knew. And I was like, I think because everyone's going to be in costume anyway, I'm going to go as Jules from Euphoria. I'm going to do that. But the person I was dating did not want to attend this birthday. But
Yeah.
they helped me with my makeup because I had no fucking idea what I was doing. They like helped me sort of pick out a costume and sort of like get the look right. Like they helped me out and I went literally up till that point in my life. That was the most free, happy, accepted that I ever felt in my entire life. It was this feeling of like, as soon as that night was over, I went home and I was like, yeah, I'm trans. Like, okay, all right, well, shit, you know, like,
Yeah.
like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I guess we gotta start figuring this out.
Yeah.
And at that point, like that, it's 2019, so it's before COVID, it's before lockdown. That's when I like figured it out, and I was like, I don't know how to move forward from here. So the person I was dating was like, well, you know, if you want to like try out some new names, I can use them for you around the house. Like we can, you know, just test some shit out. Like I can try out using she, her pronouns, and we'll just like keep it just between us. We'll keep it in the apartment. And we did that for a while. Every couple weeks, I would like try on a new name. Basically, went through a whole list of names that I liked. There were some weird ones. There were some normal ones. There were some that like I'd been attached to for a long time, but that didn't actually fit me. They were just like names that had helped me on the journey, especially
Yeah.
early on. Like there was, I don't even want to say the name because the person who I'm talking about might watch this actually. So I'll tell the story. She'll know it's her if she does watch this because there's no one else that this happened to in our school. There was a girl in 5th grade who I couldn't tell if I wanted to be her or be in her, you know, like, you know.
That was Avril Lavigne for me and
Yeah.
a bunch of other bitches.
Yeah. And I think it was honestly both, but like
Yeah.
more so that I wanted to be her.
I feel like that's more of the thing when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like when you're a girl attracted to other girls, like the girl you want to be because you're trying to figure yourself out, the girl you want to be is also the girl you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Then as an adult, you're like, this isn't my type anymore. But it's
Right.
because you were trying to become yourself and find your bitch
Yes.
all in one. Like 2 birds, 1
Correct.
stone.
Correct.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like you seem to have the answer I'm looking for
Yeah.
by being the person I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this person at one so stupid. I feel like I'm like telling on myself too much here, but like
Do it.
so there was a moment, and you're going to laugh because you're going to realize, oh, you did become this person. So there was a moment in 5th grade when she broke both of her arms at the same time. because she like broke one of her arms, and then because her arm was broken, she like was like kind of awkward with her other arm.
I'm
and she,
so
like,
glad I have good bone density.
overexerted it,
How do
and then broke her other arm too. And so she had 2 casts, and she would come to school and sit there and be like, "Can someone take my notes for me?" And like I would volunteer to like take her notes for her. Because I could write really fast, and at one point she like looked at my handwriting and she was like, "I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read that." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, like can give it a try, see if you can read it." And she looked at it and she was like, "Oh no, wait, actually I can read it.
Your handwriting is like that.
Yeah.
It's very tiny but legible somehow.
yeah, you're like it looks like a hot mess, but also I can read every word."
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand how that's possible.
Yeah.
I think there was something about that moment of like clumsiness and helplessness and like the ability to ask for assistance that I was like, "You're a perfect human being. Like you're the ideal
You
human."
grew up to be this bitch, so it makes sense.
That's
yeah.
what I mean. So the first name that I tried on was her name.
Please don't break both of your arms. I don't know what we will do if you do
I
that.
will do my best. I will continue taking calcium. I don't know. Yeah, I think my bones are fine. Like,
Most of your clumsiness is just dropping stuff.
I mostly drop shit. Yeah.
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 Whatever. It's fine. Yeah. So I tried on her name for a while, and eventually I realized that like I didn't actually like that wasn't my name. Like that
That name doesn't make sense, I feel like.
Yeah,
Chloe really makes sense for you.
Yeah. When I got to Chloe and I tried it on, and my ex was calling me that name, I was like, yeah. I thought were very supportive of me at the time. And I think they wanted to be supportive. But when it came time for me to actually come out and like make a post about it and like announce it to people, I remember when I did it and then I told them, I was like, I came out. They were like, oh, there was like this sort of disgust. And I was like, that's a strange response. Like, I thought you'd be happy for me. And they were like, yeah, except that you didn't consult me first. And I was like, I didn't know I had to consult you about things that don't involve you and deal with my life alone. And they were like, yeah, but like you coming out basically means you're coming out for me. And I was like, it doesn't. Though there's so many ways that you could continue to be with me or just dump me and be like, oh yeah, it was because she came out as a woman and like I'm not into that shit, you know. And they were like, you basically just told my whole family I'm a lesbian. And I'm like, I didn't tell anyone anything.
Yeah, I literally
came
just
out
spoke for myself, and you were
as-
supportive before.
yeah.
This story pisses me off every time you tell it, but
Yeah.
like...
And like there's still a part of me that's like, they're not wrong.
But also, like, they made the whole thing about themselves.
They did. They made the
Like-
whole, which is what they did all of the time. They were very much self-centered, self-focused.
Because when you came out to them, it was implied that you were going to live your life as a woman.
And we had conversations before that about
And also,
how-
this is the other thing. They could be bisexual.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, or they could have just like made a fake breakup if they wanted to be in the closet about dating you and just be like, hey, this isn't a thing, whatever, and then just like, you know, work that out however they needed to. But also like for them to like be supportive of you coming out and then all of a sudden make it about them and then get all pissed off at you. It's like, come on.
We'd been having conversations for like, at that point, like 9 months about the fact that I wanted to come out and I just needed to.
And you'd gone
find
to
the
a
right
party
time
with them dressed as Chloe.
Yeah.
You know, like you know.
Well, I didn't go with them. They didn't go. Like,
But they helped you get
They
ready
did,
for that
yeah.
party. Like, they knew you were coming out.
Yeah.
So if they had something to say about it, why didn't they say that in that 9-month period? Like,
right.
I don't know. I know a lot about that relationship, and I don't like that person, and I think they were a piece of shit.
They're
So,
not a good person.
Yeah.
They're truly not a good person.
like, that's the tip of the iceberg. That's not even nearly the worst thing
Yeah.
they did to you. So
It's not even close.
not even fucking close.
it's not even
so, like,
close.
fuck that person.
Yeah.
They could go die.
But the only reason I even like brought them up is because on the day that I started taking my hormones and the person made me that cake, my ex, the person I was with, so they were like pretty obsessed with weed. They were like pretty addicted. Like they smoked like a joint a day, sometimes more. They spent any dollar they ever made, which was not a lot of dollars, was spent on weed. And they did not purchase any other things. They didn't have a car. So they would use my car to go to the weed shop to get some weed. And they would do that every day. And on this day, I had gotten up early because I had to go to the clinic to have my appointment to start my hormones. So I was gone all morning. And by the time I got to this person's house and she was like celebrating with me and had made me this cake and all this stuff, I get a phone call from my ex and they say,
There's like timelines crossing I didn't know about.
yeah.
Damn.
And so they called me and they were like, hey, so what time are you getting back? And I was like, it'll probably be another hour and a half, maybe. And they were like, okay, cool. Cause I was just thinking that like maybe when you got here, we could go to the weed shop and like get some weed to celebrate your new hormones. And I was like,
Was this after the conversation they had with you about coming out?
yes. So the hormones, I started hormones more than a year after I came out.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like a year,
Okay.
a year and 3 months
Ooh.
after I came out, I started hormones.
Okay. Yeah.
And they basically like they were out of weed and they wanted to get weed and they decided to frame them going to get weed as a celebration
of you coming
for
out.
me coming out. And I
after
was,
they'd fought with you about it.
yes. And I was like, well, I'm at a friend's place. Like she baked me a cake. We're like doing a little celebrating
Yeah.
thing, like an actual one. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, I guess just like, can I borrow the car when you get back? like literally just gave up any pretense of wanting to celebrate with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're so full of shit. Like
Yeah.
everything about you is a fucking lie. Like that was just another element of the coming out story. So like, I mean, I already told this part of it on the no contact with the parents. I came out to my mom immediately before I stopped talking to her. I came out to my mom as I stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
Because there was 1,000 reasons I didn't want that relationship in my life anymore. And I felt like I know that the transition is going to be stressful.
Yeah.
Like I know it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be emotional. I know I'm going to be posting like progress pictures.
Well, you were a 12-year-old,
I was
30-year-old
yes,
girl.
I was a
So
12-year-old, 30-year-old girl. And I
It's a
was
lot.
like, the last thing I could handle is any fucking thing she would have to say. So in addition to needing this for other reasons, I am also going to block you everywhere and simply just cut this off because I'm not going to be able to transition in a mentally healthy way if you are
if you're
still
giving your
a part of
opinion
my
about
life
it,
and
yeah.
talking about it at all.
Yeah.
There was that element to it. Basically, everyone in my like extended past life was sort of like, because I came out on Facebook shortly before I permanently deleted my Facebook. I think I kept the Facebook for like 6 more months after that. And eventually I was like, I hate Facebook. Like I never use it anyway.
Yeah.
I basically just have it to keep up with these very specific old people who
I
are
got
all
rid of Facebook around the same time. I stopped logging into it around 2020, 2021. I check it like once or twice a year, and
Yep.
then I got locked out of it, and I don't give a shit about Facebook now.
Yep.
It's just funny, the timeline. I feel like everyone had that
Yeah.
during COVID.
I also just it coincided with coming out because I was like, I just want to die and be reborn and start over.
Yeah, and Facebook was just like a collection of people you knew in high school. That was a big reason I stopped caring about it, because I'm like, I'm just posting memes. It was
Yeah.
fun posting memes sometimes.
Sure.
I had a lot of people I didn't know on Facebook too that like my memes.
Yeah.
I just feel like that social media platform turned into keeping in contact with people you should have let go of.
Yes.
Like if social media didn't
That's-
exist, we wouldn't be in contact and it would have been for the
That's
best. Like that's what Facebook turned into.
Exactly what it was.
And especially
And it wasn't
for queer
just
people.
and it wasn't
like,
just that, because it was also that they would randomly just be like, here's a memory from 7 years ago.
yeah.
And that every time I logged in, they'd be like, here's you as a fake man. Look how sad you were.
And you're trying to like
And I'm-
live your new life, and you're being
Yes.
reminded of like a time
just
that you weren't being
constantly-
authentic.
Constantly
Yeah.
reminded of how much I wasn't myself.
Yeah.
And I hated it. And so I deleted my Facebook. I deleted my Instagram. I had I think close to 100,000 followers on my Instagram. Just from like being an actor and being like
Yeah.
a hot guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like And there were dudes in my DMs constantly just like, I saw you in that gay movie. You want to see my dick? Like, no, I'm good. Thank you. Like I was, even before I knew I was a woman, I was getting unsolicited dick pics, you know, like, But so I just deleted every single thing and then waited like 6 months and then restarted a couple of the social medias as Chloe. I was like, these are gonna start at 0. I'm gonna build a new algorithm. I'm gonna have new contacts. I'm truly only gonna add the people I actually want to keep in touch with. But like I need to basically total reset.
Yes.
And then for a while, I was out at my Trader Joe's job. When I worked at Trader Joe's, like I specifically was like, even long before I started hormones, I was like, I basically did the shit that they would make trans people do in like the 60s and 70s to get approved for hormones.
Where you socially transitioned. I remember you told me that.
They would I don't recommend doing this, by the way. I don't think anyone should actually do this, but I did it because I don't know, a glutton for punishment, I guess. Where they make
you were transitioning alone, essentially. You didn't have any other trans friends to guide you through it.
Right.
So, like, it makes sense you would go that route because you don't have any guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The route being socially transition fully first, get a job, go through at least a year of being called your new preferred name.
Yeah.
And so I went and got this Trader Joe's job as an untransitioned, no hormones trans girl named Chloe, who still looked and sounded
and presented as a man.
Fully male.
Yeah.
With like, I would do eyeliner. Like, that was like all I knew how to do. And they were like, are you sure? Like, you want us to call you Chloe? Like, what is the thing, the vibe here? And they hired me. You know, eventually they hired me, and most people were pretty cool. You know, some of the customers were shitty. There were a couple of the coworkers who like were outright assholes.
Yeah.
Like there's this one guy specifically who like, I knew he played Magic. And so one day we were like closing up the store after hours. We were both working in the same section, and I was like, hey, so like, I heard you play Magic. And he just kind of didn't answer me for a second. And I was like, what kind of decks do you like to play? Or like, what are your colors? And he was like, I don't know, green. And then he like wandered off, and I
hate men like that.
He like never.
I hate men that. I've had experiences like that where they almost don't talk to you like a person.
Yeah.
Like they don't see you as a human being, and they just kind of like talk at.
That guy
like,
literally never.
I know exactly what kind of guy that is. I hate men like that.
That guy literally never said another word to me the entire time I worked there.
Well, he probably jacks off and cries every night because no one likes him. How miserable.
Yeah, I mean that's true. He's definitely not a happy person.
Like I've been transphobic before. Like I would talk to people. You know what I mean? I might have said really shitty transphobic things to people when I was really transphobic and I was younger and I was ignorant. But like I was never like, I'm gonna just pretend you're not there. Like,
yeah,
what a fucking loser.
Yeah, yep. When I got back into teaching and like tutoring and stuff, I was petrified because all of the rhetoric around trans people is like, they're gonna molest your kids or whatever. I sort of went back in the closet and pretended to be my dead name for those. And so in my social life and outside of work, I was Chloe. But anytime I would go to meet with a student or I would have a Zoom call with a student, I would be my dead name. I would do like quick changes. I would like throw my hair up and like put on a hat and like wipe off any makeup I'd put on, change my shirt really quick. I would like fully just turn into the guy version of me. Over time, that got harder and harder and harder.
I remember you had one student you came out to because you wouldn't do video with that student.
Yes. He was one of my first students after I started teaching again.
And so when he was the last to find out.
I know. And so when we first started working together, we only ever worked on Zoom. I would always have my camera on. He would never turn his camera on. Every once in a while, I'd be like, can you turn your camera on so I can just make sure you're not like watching baseball? It seems like you're really distracted today. But like eventually I was like, whatever, this is just going to be the vibe. He's going to have his camera off. And eventually I just started turning my camera off too, especially on the days where like I had done a full face of makeup or like if he was like my only student that day and like I had like gotten dressed up to like go hang out with friends or something.
Yeah, you're like, he doesn't need to see me.
I was like, it's not the time or the place for a conversation like this with this person.
Yeah.
So there was the day that we were on this call. He was taking a class on Latin American sexuality. It was like a very specific class. It's like a requirement for his major. And there was an essay written by a Latinx person. And I'm going to say Latinx because the essay was about why Latinx is important. This was a non-binary Latinx person who was like, I understand that there's a lot of people who think that it's offensive and that it was invented by white people, but it wasn't. It was invented by Latino and Latina and Latinx queer people, specifically trans people, who invented this term so that we don't have to identify as Latino or Latina. And we were like halfway through this essay and the student just goes like, so like, I don't get like why this matters. And I was like, okay, so let me explain to you what trans people are basically. And he was like, okay, so like, I guess I've like heard of trans people, but like, why do people hate them so much?
Okay.
And I was like, usually the people who hate us the most, or not us, I didn't say us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that how you started this?
No. I was like, usually the people who hate trans people are people who feel that they were tricked by them. Typically what it is a man at a bar or somewhere who's had a couple of drinks will hit on a girl he thinks is hot. And then he will find out she is trans, and he will
And then
feel
he'll fucking
betrayed,
kill her.
and he will kill her, or he will do
Men are
something.
emotional pussies. It makes me mad.
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And so this student was like, oh, okay. So like, but I still don't know why you'd want to kill the person. And I was like, look, sometimes these guys, they feel like emasculated. Maybe they spent the night making out and then they like found out after they were done making out. And he was like, oh, I see. Okay, so like, yeah, I guess if I like made out with a girl and then I found out she was a trans guy, then I would probably think she did deserve to die.
The patience you have, I would have gotten off the call, gone to that kid's house, and kicked the shit out of him. I don't know how you could deal with that.
So when he said
I don't know
that,
how. You're a better person than me. I couldn't fucking deal with that.
when he said that, I was like, today's the motherfucking day. I'm about to learn this boy. He is not gonna see this coming. So I just turned on the camera. I was like, hey, are you looking at this screen right now? And he was like, no, hold on. And he went and sat down and I was like, okay, brace yourself. And I turned on the camera and again, at full beat, like it, I don't know, remember what I did that day, but I looked good. And he just, again, 30 seconds of silence. What's happening? Just full on short circuited. And I was like, so I am a trans person. I have been a trans person since
whole time.
the day we met. This is simply the first time that it ever came up. And I feel that it is important that I don't want to be murdered.
Yeah, like
Because
maybe it wouldn't be cool if some guy hit on me
Yeah.
and I was like, nah, also
Yeah.
I'm trans.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be cool if that
Yeah.
guy didn't kill me.
Yeah. I
don't know how you have patience for shit like that.
And so then we went back to talking about the essay. I'm like reading the next passage to him and he just goes, wait, stop. I can't do this. I can't do this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty right now and I can't focus on anything except how sorry I am and how terrible I feel. I don't know what's happening. And I was like, okay.
I love this story. I've heard this story, by the way. I love it, though. You handled it better than I would have, and that's why you're meant to work with children, and I am not, because I would have kicked the shit out of that kid.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, you got some big feelings over there. Like, how do you want to? Because I'm fine. Like, I'm okay. How would you like to proceed? We can keep working on this class, or we're talking about literally trans people, which is the thing you said that deserves to die if they made out with the wrong person on the wrong day, which I also happen to be. If you would like, we can finish the assignment and never speak of this again, or we can talk about it. So this is up to you. The time is yours. And he said, I have to go. I'm going to be right back. And he got off the call.
and I remember he got off the call, and you came out to the living room to tell me about what just happened, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I think he's back on. I'll be right back. I'll tell you more later. So I get back on the call. He comes into the room and he's like, so I just called my grandma. Keep in mind, this boy's grandma was a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, so she knows what's up.
She knows what's up. So he calls her and is like, what do? I just told a trans person I think trans people should be murdered.
See, and his grandmother's better than me. I would have kicked the shit out of him as his grandmother.
Yeah. And she basically was like,
and that's why I'll never have kids.
she was like, did you apologize? And he was like, yes. She was like, okay, make it very clear that you didn't mean it and it was a terrible joke that you will never make again and that you understand the ramifications. And also, get off the phone with me. I'm paying for this time. Do your fucking homework.
God bless that woman. She sounds like a badass. I
Yes.
love her.
So go do your fucking homework.
Seriously.
Like,
Stop being a little shit, you little shit.
yeah. So he tells me that that's what she said. And I was like, okay, would you like to do your homework?
Yeah, let's do your homework so your grandma doesn't get angry
Right.
at you.
And he was the last person I ever like came out to.
Yeah, that's a big coming out too.
Yes. And the other times that it's happened are like, again, recently I've been getting a fair number of students recommended to me through the school. And I usually interact with these people only through email. And most of the time I don't ever meet the parents. Like I meet the kids
Yeah.
at school and we work on stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but this one day, a week and a half ago, I was in the meeting with the student, and I guess the mom had a meeting with the principal that she wanted the student to be at. And so she and the principal like came to find her. And so she, for the first time, saw me, had that like
Yeah.
kind of like moment, but got
Trying
over
to
it,
compute.
you know, very quickly. And then was
Yeah.
like, well, you know, you've worked together a couple of times. My daughter says you're the best tutor she's ever had. So like, that's all I really care about. Would you like to, you know, work with her on something else also? And I was like, sure, you know. So like, you know, there's still moments where it happens, but like,
This was a point I wanted to make earlier. I think it's crazy that you get weird reactions from parents, like even if they're not super hostile, like the fact that people have like because I know you've had people that stopped working with you after you came out.
yes, I did.
And it's like, before you came out, you were perceived as a cis-het white male.
Yeah.
That is the demographic more likely to harm your children. So it's just so weird to me that like people will be totally fine with a cis-het white male teaching their kids and just being alone. That's fine. But like a trans woman,
Yeah.
and it's because of all the propaganda. But if you actually know trans women, they usually understand consent better than anyone.
Yeah.
Because for like sexual encounters, if you're a trans person, there's a conversation you have to make sure you're compatible and like everybody's on board and like it doesn't give you dysphoria. And also just the scrutiny the trans community is under. They're like a lot more likely to not do anything.
Yeah.
That's gonna fucking like, you know, like make
literally.
it look like they're, but
Yeah.
a cis-het white male?
Yeah.
That fucker could get away with, look at Donald Trump. He was killing and raping and eating children. It's been proven. I can't believe I'm saying that sentence out loud as fact. And he's the president of the United States. We're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, it's fine. But like
Yeah.
a trans woman that's really good at math for some reason, that wants to teach your kids and genuinely wants children to be intelligent and like know how to like use their critical thinking skill, like, and that's a problem now. It's just crazy that society has done that. Society's convinced people that there is a demographic of women that are more harmful than men. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is. There's a demographic of women. Everyone is pointing the finger at going, you're worse than men. I'm like, what do you mean? That's statistically not true. Also, men are behind most of the murders, rapes, pedophilia,
That is
every
all
violent
true.
crime you can think of. Cis
Yeah.
men are
It
behind.
is typically,
But you won't bat your
cis
eye
white-
at a fucking cis white guy coming in to teach your kids, but the trans woman's a problem. It's crazy to me. It
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yep.
It makes me fucking angry.
Yep. And like when it has been an issue, I think it's largely because like the parents don't want me to like give their kid any ideas.
That's not how that works, though.
I know,
because
but
you're not.
people don't know that. People are dumb. Like they think that
if your kid is trans, you can't do anything about it, and no trans person's going to convince them. They might figure it out sooner. But
these people think it's a woke mind virus.
They think it's a choice. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly.
And like, if you have any common sense, nobody, if they had the choice, nobody would choose to live as a woman, and no one would choose to live as a trans woman in this society.
Yeah.
And it was even worse in the past.
Yeah, no, like the one time I know for sure that they dropped me because I'm trans, it's because they didn't know I was trans for a while. Then there was like a mix up over the holidays where like I had come out to the company, but I hadn't come out to the clients. And I was like, just don't tell any of the clients. But they had changed my name in the system. So then when they sent emails to like remind us of our
so they're
sessions,
like, who's this girl that you like assigned us to?
They were like, wait, no, we want the same tutor. That tutor's been great. Like, please send us the same person. And then I showed up and they were like, who's this Chloe person? And I was like, that's me. I'm the Chloe person. I recently told them that I'm trans.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to tell anyone, but they didn't think about how their system would automatically out me to all of the clients simultaneously. So like, that's the other thing is like, none of the fucking systems in the world were like designed for trans people, like or with trans people in mind.
It shouldn't have to be either.
Right.
Like it shouldn't be this big thing for you to be like, hey, I'm transitioning.
Right. It definitely shouldn't be.
If I hired somebody that I thought was a man to like tutor my kids at math and everything was fine, if they told me they were actually a woman, I'd be like, oh, even better. Like,
right.
Cool.
Right. But the reason they dropped me is during that session, their son had noticed that I like had some nail polish on my fingers. I didn't even know this was happening. But like while we were working together, I guess there was a part of it where I was reading the questions to him and then looking to him to see what his answers were. I guess whenever I wasn't looking at him, he was like coloring his nails with a pencil.
He was like
coloring in his nails.
Who cares if a boy paints his nails?
I agree.
Who fucking cares?
I agree 100%.
It's just it like blows my mind.
Yeah. But at one point he left to go to the bathroom and then he came back in and we kept on going with the session. Everything was normal. Then as I was leaving the house, his mom grabbed his hands in the hallway and looked at him and went, what happened to the color? And he was like, I washed it off in the bathroom. And I was like, what's happening right now? Like I had literally no idea. And she was like, no, your fingernails, they were painted and now they're not painted. What happened? And he was like, I washed them off in the bathroom. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even know he did that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we were in there painting nails. Like, I was teaching him how to write. You
know?
Like,
literally.
We were doing school the whole time.
And also, who gives a shit if the kid painted his nails?
I think she thought that, like, I was using the tutoring time to paint his nails. And, like, didn't ask me about it. Like, even though at the start of the session, she had been like, we really want to, like, are you available for extra sessions? Like, we have so much we want to get through. Like, can you please make sure, clear your schedule, make sure you're available? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then after that session, they canceled all future sessions. I never heard from them again. So I know it's because I'm trans.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. That's like 50 different versions of my coming out story, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a lesson or a takeaway. It's hard out here to be trans.
Yeah.
You know, don't come out until you're ready to.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend doing it by like socially transitioning before you start hormones, unless you're like a kid
with supportive parents and shit. Yeah.
In which case, you know, go for it. Like, please do that. But if you're like 30, unless you just don't give a fuck, in which case, like, kudos, more power to you.
Props to you. I respect people like that. But
yeah.
That's dangerous as fuck. It's just dangerous out there.
Yeah. There were so many just ways that I like didn't think about, because how could you possibly, like, all the different ways it would impact like my life, like coming out and like when are things gonna happen and like,
I mean, how do you feel
when
now?
is my business gonna out me like against my will?
It's just such a crazy thing, because with like being gay you can like hide that.
Yeah.
Being trans, everyone's gonna fucking know at some point if you're coming out. So
it's
everyone makes a big deal about it. Like it's you know, it's rough.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change it. I'm glad
you came out.
Yeah. Me too.
If I had met you at that party and I thought you were a dude, we would have never gotten this close.
You
so.
would never have met me at that party if I was a dude.
Yeah, I would have never met you
Because
then.
the only reason that person invited me is because they stopped me in the parking lot and asked me if I was trans, and I said yes. They had a very strict rule that no dudes were allowed at the parties. So like, it never would have happened. But yeah, I'm glad I came out too. It's been pretty cool. Yeah. I wish people were cooler.
I do too. You're fucking telling me.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't a sideshow everywhere I go in my whole life.
It's annoying to me because you would have thought people would have learned from like the gay panic in like the early 2000s
But this
and
is
90s.
a whole different thing.
Because they did all the same things to
know.
gay people. I remember like, because that was a big fear I had about like people thinking I'm gay. Everyone made it seem like they were pedophiles and perverse.
Yep.
That was the fear back then with being just gay. And they're doing the same thing with trans people. I'm like, you would think you would like connect the dots. Because there are grown ass people that went through the entire unpacking their homophobia thing. And they're cool with gay people now. Now that it's trans people. There's fucking gay people that have issues with trans people. And I'm like, they were saying the same fucking... There was a girl at a club I worked at, black lesbian, who was being super trans... It's that club I quit at because they were transphobic and they fired that girl.
Yes. Yes.
And the girl making the biggest fuss about it was a black lesbian. I'm like, you realize your little, like, I don't feel comfortable in the bath. They would have been saying the same shit about you 20 years ago because you're a black lesbian.
Yeah.
And then 50 years ago, they would have said the same shit about you because you're a black woman. What the fuck are you doing? Like, people are so stupid.
It's honestly, it's the same energy as what we were talking about in the Karens episode, which is just like when you have achieved any level of privilege, you feel the need to police anyone below you.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
thanks for listening.
thanks for tuning in.
We're happy to have you. We love you. Send us an email, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, check out our Patreon.
Check it out. We'll see you next time.
See you next
for
time.
whatever the fuck we talk about next.
We'll figure it out. Mwah. Bye.
Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.